Hey everybody, it's Ben in Beta, and today we're going to talk about the HoverAir beacon. And hopefully a lot of your questions are answered in this. Please leave comments if you have more questions, and I'll try to answer those in future videos.
So the beacon works with the Pro or the ProMax, and this has been pretty good so far. It does give you a preview of what the drone is seeing, allows you to control the drone in a manual mode, and it allows you to switch between different automatic modes as well. It's pretty small, and it's also a microphone, and we'll test that out and see how that works too. And the beacon has a little bit of a vibration device in it, and it has a pretty nice OLED screen. So right now I'm going to go ahead and turn on the HoverAir again here. Once you disconnect from either the beacon or the app, you can switch to the other one very quickly, which is nice. Camera's back up and running. I just hit connect. This does take a little bit of time. I know a lot of people have had problems with the beacon. When you first want to install firmware and whatnot, you can't have it too close. You actually have to have it like 20 centimeters away or further because they're having signal overload issues with it. So if you do want to update it, you don't want it to be right next to the drone, basically. All right, we're going to click connect now, and it's connecting. And that tells me it's connected. And just because the other video that I shot yesterday is outside, you may not be able to see it. I did want to show you what this looks like. So you do get their camera preview. If you swipe this direction, you can switch to the different modes and then say, that's the mode I'd like to do. And it will do that. And then you can go back to the preview to see what's going on. You also have some settings by swiping down. So there's an update setting and a few other settings in here that you can change if you would like. So there seems to be some more updating that needs to happen with the beacon for everything to work properly. While it's hovering in front of you, I wish you could start a flight mode from here. That would be nice. I also think it would be nice for both the app and the beacon to know if it's tracking you and kind of put a box around you like the DJI ones do. Maybe that is like patented or something, but it would be nice. And then there's a microphone button. So when you actually hit record, it will start recording. When you use this and it's recording the audio, it'll record it back to the drone, but for some reason it only stores it to the internal storage of the drone. And right now it's not set up to merge the audio and video together. So you have to do that yourself in post. Something to keep in mind. It's supposed to be fixed in a future firmware upgrade. Without it even flying, I can actually do that now. So let me face this my way here so you can kind of see what this looks like. All right, so it's facing my way. If I hit the record button, it's now recording, and it's recording my voice as well. So I can show you what it sounds like via this device, the beacon. What does that sound like versus my DJI mic with the lavalier mic that I'm using? And we can kind of compare the two. I actually think the quality of this is pretty good. Sometimes it seems to miss some audio now and again. And for whatever reason, the beacon is not actually taking out any of the sound of the propellers or anything like that yet. I think that's something that's going to come in the future when it merges the audio with the video. That'll be a nice feature because this is nice to be able to clip to your shirt or something like that, be able to take video and then be able to remove the propeller sound and still get pretty decent audio. And that's nice. You can see that it's recording because the microphone button turned green. And if I stop recording, that will turn off. It's just sync the audio back to the SD card, and you can see that the audio is now off. All right, to see the beacon in action, let's head outside and just see how it works and what the different modes do. I'm gonna grab my beacon and we'll see how that goes. I wish you could connect the mobile app to this. You can do that with the joysticks when it's in the full joystick mode, but let's go ahead and connect this. Asking to connect, but it's now connecting, and you hear that noise to let you know that it's connecting, which is awesome. And you're gonna get a smart preview of this right away once it's connected. If you're flying in any particular mode and you hit this right-hand button, it'll switch it immediately to stop. If you click the left-hand button, it'll allow you to then go into manual mode and control the drone manually. Once you start recording, this does record audio. So let's go ahead and launch this and see a little bird's eye with a rotation.
15 meters, bird eye.
And again, this is supposed to be recording my audio at the same time. So there it goes. And now it'll start recording. And you can see that the mic indicator just went up. So it should be recording my audio at this point, and you can see the bird's eye view of what's going on above me. And I think I have it going up to like 15 meters or something, or 10 meters, so it's going up pretty high. And then I have the rotation on. Then it hovers for a little bit at the top, and then it's going to come back down. And that's what's kind of happening with it right now. Here it comes back down with the rotation as well. You can also just record video from it right from here. One of the things I haven't figured out is why I can't just change the mode. I actually have to park it first And I think the next iteration of this would be great is being able to control it with the modes from the application or from the beacon. So let's just change the modes here. We haven't done sidetrack, so let's go ahead and give this a go. Hopefully I don't run into anything here,
Sidetrack.
but we'll see.
Sidetrack.
All right. And again, now it should be recording audio through the beacon. And we're sidetracking here. And it's really close, but it's giving me good video, which is great. And as long as I don't run it into anything, it's gonna be fine, but it does not have sensors on the sides. So you have to be pretty understanding of what you're doing with this drone to not hit the sides. I imagine in the future they'll have one that has full 360 degree as well. So let's see what happens if I turn different ways. So far it's going pretty well. The tracking overall has been really good unless you go right underneath it. That's kind of what I learned there. And let's see how it tracks on the way back. How about a little bit faster? If I was running. And it does seem to be pretty good with that too. And I have a stop button, so I'm gonna hit that on here. And that brings it back to me. So the beacon is pretty nice because of that, and I think it does also help for tracking. So let's just do hover and see how that works. So switch to that.
Hover. Continue. Hover.
All right, there we go. We're in hover mode now, and it should be tracking me as I walk around. So if I want a static shot where I'm talking about a couple different things, this is nice, or if I'm trying to point something out, right? I wanted to talk about, for instance, if I wanted to talk about, right over here, we've got Cheyenne Mountain in the background right there. There's some radio towers you can see there. And then the big mountain over here, the big one here in the area, and that's Pikes Peak. All right, so now I talked about the fact that you can change this and say, I want to control the drone. So if I hit this button on the right-hand side here, so I'm gonna come back over here. So far, all has been on one battery so far, by the way. So if I hit this button, now I should be able to hit this button over here because it stopped it from moving. If it was moving, it would stop it. Notice it's not tracking me anymore. And if I press this once, now I've got manual mode. And you can see that the drone is now moving here, hopefully. And I can completely control it. So forward, I can turn it. It's very janky in how it works, but I can control it this way. And so I can go up and down. And because I have this preview on the screen, I can actually fly it just fine and fly it back to myself. And you can see it goes quite a ways. I'm not gonna go real far away. I don't wanna annoy my neighbors too much. And then we'll go ahead and go back. And then I can go up above if I want. So if I wanna go a little bit higher, I can do that. But you can't do like multiple directions at the same time, so it's a little bit harder to fly because of that. That's where the joysticks would come in. So all right, let's go here. Oh. And let's fly it back. So those are kind of all the functions of the drone.
All right, to get the audio from your beacon, you need to go into your HoverAir internal storage, and that's what this is. So this is showing me that I have two cards here. This is my external and internal. Your beacon audio always gets stored to the internal HoverAir X1. This will get fixed in a upcoming firmware update according to HoverAir, where everything will be combined back into the same file. But right now, this is where it is. And you go in here, these are all your audio files. Grab all these and bring them over here. The problem now is I have to figure out which of these audio files that I just moved over actually goes to the video files that I'm looking for, and some of those might be on the internal card, some of them might be on the external card. So that's why this is a little bit difficult right now, and that's basically where you need to start in order to get that audio. Now that we've got that off of there, we can kind of move forward. And then as far as how do you attach sound to your videos, basically what we need to do here is go into that same audio file and find the correct audio file for this one to match it up.
And it hovers for a little bit up.
Okay, so it's this one here somewhere. Now we just got to get it to match up, which I think is probably like that right there. And all I'm doing is looking to see where these peaks and valleys kind of match. And I think
15 meters or something.
All right, so now I can hear that it's matched up.
15 meters or something.
And now I'll be able to switch back and forth between the audio in CapCut.
And now I'll start recording. And you can see that the mic indicator.
And so what I can do now is cut out the audio from this other file. And this is obviously easier if you're not recording two audio files at the same time. This is both easier and harder if you're recording two audios at the same time. One, having the other audio file allows you to match it up precisely to what you're saying with the other mic. However, if you don't have that, you can be off by a little bit and be pretty close, but then you have to use visual cues with people's mouths, and that's very difficult. So anyway, that's how you match up the audio if you need to do that, and then you can run back and forth with it.
All right, so hopefully you saw that it flies very well. It's pretty easy to control, and the microphones work really well when you use the beacon. Now, when you record the phone, it's really great because it removes all the propeller noise, and I was really impressed with that, to be honest with you. Carrying the phone around worked pretty well. It'll be even better when they can do it with the beacon, because I don't want to have my phone out for everything.
I'd also say while the quality was pretty good with the beacon, it would cut out sometimes with wind, and some other times as well, just kind of would cut and drop audio. So hopefully that gets better over time too. But the audio itself was actually pretty decent from the beacon. I was pretty impressed with that. And hopefully that just keeps getting better and better with software updates. Once again, they did say that in the next couple of software updates, we should be able to see the files be merged.
Even though I don't have the joysticks, you can see I was still able to control the drone just fine with beacon. It is easier to control with the phone. This one kind of just takes one input at a time at the moment. So you can go like forward, back, up, down, whatnot. You can't go up and then turn at the same time. At least I haven't seen that happen with this yet. But I do like the fact that if you press this button, it just stops immediately, and then you can take over manual control with the beacon. One other note on the beacon is it has its own proprietary connector to charge it. So just keep that in mind, that you don't want to lose that connector or you won't be able to charge this. Lastly, if you want to be able to clip this to your shirt, make sure you buy the $15 clip. They should have just included that, in my opinion, for as much as they charge for these. Make sure you buy that clip so you can clip it to your shirt or whatnot. And then they also have one for like an action camera mount or something like that if you want to use it that way.
So I think the beacon is pretty great, and it's just going to get better over time with software. This is a really new product from them, but I think it's going to be pretty solid. Hopefully you'll be able to start the automatic modes from the beacon directly in the future as well. But as far as quality goes, it's pretty decent. I'm hopefully going to be picking up the joysticks in the future too, just to see how all that works, but right now they're back ordered. So that's how the beacon works with the HoverAir X1 Pro Max. If you have any questions, please leave those in the comments. I will get to those, or I'll make a new video. So if you found this video at all helpful, please hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Like the video as well. That's very helpful for the YouTube algorithms. And also share this out with anybody you think might find it helpful.
So thank you so much for watching. Remember, live your life in beta, and we'll see you next time.